Joining me on the show tonight, Pradyut Bordoloi is a member of Parliament of the Congress Party from Assam. Dr. Kiran Bedi is former IPS officer. We have Sanju, Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. And Dr. Alana Golmei is a General Secretary, Northeast Support Center and Helpline. Pradyut, I'm going to begin with you. How do you view Uttarakhand Chief Minister Dhami's response to this murder as completely unacceptable, and what specific accountability measures should be taken by the state?
I have seen the statement of the Uttarakhand government. Somehow I have a sad feeling that the Dehradun police and probably the administration there is trying to cover up and trivialize the entire incident. But I want to tell you, Maria, this is not just an isolated instance. I would like you to recall that in 2014, in the heart of Delhi, in Lajpat Nagar, a 19-year-old Arunachal student, Nido Tanyam, was clubbed to death in a similar incidents, actually, same type of incidents. And all these incidences are found, the hate crimes, the discrimination, the prejudice against the northeastern youths who are there. And this is my sad realization over the years. I was also a student of Delhi. I have found even those days that somehow the many people in the North Indian cities, more particularly, have very scanty knowledge and understanding of the Northeast. They just are insensitive towards the people of
Okay,
Northeast.
Pradyut, as a student yourself in Delhi, did you face some kind of slur or what is now being called as normalized hate against Northeast people?
No, this kind of unfortunate incidences of taunting, insults, calling them Chinese or Chinkies, all kinds of things are always there. But what is important now, after the incidents that took place in 2014, this government set up Bezbaruah Committee. The Bezbaruah Committee report was submitted to Mr. Amit Shah almost a decade ago. And that report has a slew of recommendations. Those recommendations have to be implemented. And then the people of the Northeast, wherever they are, they must have freedom from such racial discrimination and prejudice.
Okay, so certainly there's a huge concern. Before I talk about policing with Dr. Kiran Bedi, Sanju Verma, please come in, your reaction to this. Of course, lots needs to be done. While we are looking at this particular case of Angel, there is another hate crime that has been reported in Tamil Nadu of someone who comes from Odisha. So when we look at the larger incidents, it also seems that Indians in general are becoming less compassionate or less empathetic. Ms. Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, if you heard me.
Yes, Maria. Am I audible? Because there's some glitch in the audio line.
Yes, please. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So Maria, first and foremost, to the Congress panelist, who I believe is a member of Parliament too, my limited point is this. I think the moot point here is that let's not indulge in toxic narratives and let's not engage in vicious stereotyping of certain communities. I have seen often, and this is not just about politics. I will come to the political bit eventually. But the moot point here is this. Look at what Sam Pitroda, he's the head of Indian Overseas Congress. What did he say? Last year in 2024, he made that rather irresponsible remark where he said, people from the north look like whites, people from the south look like blacks, people from west look like Arabs, and people from northeast and eastern part of India look like Chinese. I don't know what was the intent of making that statement, but the stereotyping, especially of people from the northeast, I think this has to be dealt with, point number one. Point number two, I think where the political part comes in. For instance, look at what has happened since 2014 after Narendra Modi took charge at the helm. 1985, we had Rajiv Gandhi, who signed the Assam Peace Accord to provide rights to indigenous Assamese people. Nothing happened for decades altogether. In 1986, we had the Mizo Accord. Nothing happened in terms of curbing insurgency in Mizoram. In 1988, the Congress signed a tripartite agreement in Tripura, but it failed there also. In fact, last year again, on the 4th of September 2024, we got in all stakeholders from Tripura and signed an agreement
Maria,
ensuring
this
that
lady
violence
is diverting the core
can I
issue.
please
One
I mean,
moment.
this is very
Can I
unfortunate.
please finish?
Pradyut, just
I did
be
not
patient.
interject.
I'm coming
This
to you,
is-
Pradyut.
she's
Let
just
her finish her
diverting
point.
the issue.
Let
You are
her
a
finish
member
her
of
point. I'm
parliament.
coming to
No.
you.
No, no.
Let her finish
no,
her
no.
point. I'm coming to you. Pradyut,
No, yes,
let's,
Maria.
The issue.
Pradyut,
Maria,
let
can
her
I
finish.
please?
Yes, please.
I
go
don't know
ahead.
why this gentleman is heckling me. I mean, being
Okay,
a
go
member
ahead.
of parliament,
Go
I
ahead.
expect him to show some courtesy. Maria, at least you don't interject. Let me finish. Sanju, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. My limited point is this: be it the Tripura Accord, be it the Mizo Accord, be it the accord with the Bodoland, which was signed in 2004, or the Assam Accord. The Congress, for decades together, failed to protect the rights of be it indigenous Tripuris, indigenous Mizos, indigenous Assamese, or the indigenous people from the Bodo community. The Modi government has undone decades of neglect which the northeastern part of India faced. And I think I will simply say this: the Uttarakhand government is not going to leave any stone unturned in nabbing the two people who are still out there and who were responsible for the heinous murder of Angel
Let's
Chakma.
bring in Dr. Kiran Bedi. Dr. Kiran Bedi, drawing from your policing experience, why do racial slurs that we are hearing a lot, very, very unfortunate words, chinky or Nepalese, escalate to violence in places, say, like Dehradun, what has happened, and how should then FIRs mandate hate crime classifications?
Maria, the concept of preventive policing has weakened for reasons that the boots on ground are more on law and order and reactive policing. The preventive policing, I'm looking at it as from the prevention point of view, long-term prevention point of view, and there's nothing political about this. It is that concept of prevention has declined. And how does prevention happen? Prevention happens when you have more boots on ground to patrol and also to connect with people, connect with interests, connect with women's groups, youth groups, elder groups, market associations. It's like the beat policing I've always talked about, but prevention. Now, what does preventive policing do? It engages with youth, it engages with interests. Now, in that, when it engages it maintains a system called rough register. It's a rough register means where, see, such violence, such boys and girls, such boys, of course, the girls are not there. These men don't grow overnight. They've grown over a period. They're not just happening overnight. They've grown as people who've been taking law into their own hands. Now, there was also a concept called rough registers, maintaining rough registers, where we police officers used to maintain the records of those youth who are breaking the law on a regular basis, and then bring them under some watch, some control, so called rough registers. In the rough registers, these boys from school time or little early time from college would show these tendencies of taking on law into their own hands. Now, when you have this rough registers, the beat system connects with these boys and then maintains some systems of preventive policing. And then you also have preventive sections of law. If you are repeatedly coming under notice, you are under CRPC, now with the new laws, you can be brought under some check, like sureties, etc., or a preventive arrest, which also softens them, mollifies them, and puts them on some fear of law. I think the problem here, Maria, is that we have because of so much of reactive policing, so much of pressure on policing, on investigation and firefighting, that our preventive concept of community policing and preventive policing has declined and weakened on ground. With the
Yes.
result, we are now reacting. And
Yes.
all these generations, the Gen Zs have grown. They've grown now almost free for all. So these are very tragic incidents, and these are not going to go away.
Yes, you know, because there is another incident which has happened of a migrant being, you know, there's a very tragic incident. Of course, those visuals are there, minor. In fact, minors have attacked a migrant worker. Do you think that there is a need for compulsory cultural sensitization modules, particularly in states which have high migrant inflows?
Absolutely. It's a community culture. So the community culture has now weakened. And that community culture with policing, where even the elders play a role, a certain those people who have influence, the influencers are playing, and also more culture, more cultural activity where there's harmony and there's also cross-culture respect. I think those come in peacetime. They can come in peacetime, and those could be encouraged. That's when harmony will take place. So whether you're from the northeast or the northwest or you're the center, you integrate and you work together as one community. I think that comes only where there are mobilizers and there are leadership at the grassroots level, which is non-political sometimes. Non-political leadership has to emerge, which promotes culture, which promotes harmony, and which
I
promotes
think
also compassion.
that's where the role of Dr. Alana and her group comes in. Dr. Alana, NESCH, of which you are the General Secretary, has handled 600 plus discrimination cases since 2007. How does Angel Chakma's Dehradun murder fit into what will be seen as larger pattern of harassment? And is there also a surge in helpline calls or SOS calls, particularly post-incident?
Yes, Maria. Since in 2007, we started this Northeast Support Center and Helpline, not because of anything else, but it's because of the young people from the Northeast who have left their home states face a lot of racial discrimination. So because of that, we started this helpline. And on voluntary basis, we started this helpline. And initially, we had to run from pillar to post. And then we started sensitizing the young Northeast people who have a culture shock, who have come from the home state and to cities, in metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi. And also we have done a lot of awareness with the Residential Welfare Association, with the non-Northeastern communities. So all these things we have been doing. But time and again, we have been saying, now I have been advocating for almost 2 decades, but still, we have to accept that racial discrimination exists in this country. Of course, after the case of Nido Tanya in 2014, the former speaker was talking about the setting up of Bezbaruah Committee. I was one of the members of Bezbaruah Committee, where we have actually a lot of recommendations. And one of the major recommendations is for the amendment of IPC. Now it is BNS. Earlier it was IPC 153A. We have 153B, but we do not have 153C. So that anything which is any racial slurs, any names are being called to any citizens of the country. This is not only for Northeast people alone, but any non-Northeast people also, if they go to the Northeastern states, there should be a deterrent set so that the perpetrators, should know, and there should be some exemplary actions. So we have been advocating this for the past many, many, many years. And then now it is more than 10 years after the death of Nido Tanya. It is extremely heartbreaking and tragic because these young people, they have come to build their dreams. But then only coffin go back home. This is not an isolated incident, and we have to accept. But how do we address this together? I'm also a member of the monitoring committee, which is constituted under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So we look into all these concerns for the cases which the Northeast people face. But then there are many the recommendations that is in Bezbaruah Committee. Yes, some of them we have to accept that they have implemented. Some of them have been implemented, but some of them also we need to do a lot. We talked about raising awareness. Yes, this is very important. There are short-term medium term
Yes.
and long term. But the thing is that now we also need to see the mindset and the intention. For example, if somebody is calling me a Korean or a Chinese, at least they respect me to some level. But so now we need to know the perpetrators in this recent incident, that when they are calling Chinese Chinky, Chow Mein, Momo, do they know that these two boys are from the Northeast? Or are they really not aware that they are not from this part of the country? So we need to see, we need a proper
Absolutely. I
investigation
think
in order
perhaps
to ascertain this.
it is time to criminalize the utterance of this word. That is what India should be doing. So, Sanju Verma, is India willing to formally perhaps acknowledge that racial violence within its own citizens is actually a reality? Or will we continue to treat attacks on people from Northeast as a law and order situation? Sanju Verma, that's a question to you, ma'am. Sanju Verma, if you heard me. Okay, we'll try and fix that audio with Sanju. Yes, please. Can you hear me now?
Can you please have the audio sorted?
I will just get that done. Yes. So, perhaps Dr. Kiran Bedi, would you say that it's time to criminalize the utterance of that word against people from Northeast? Because until and unless that is done, the entire cultural barriers won't be crossed.
Well, the ultimate criminal law exists today. It's not that you, under the new laws, you can take on. The point is, I'm at graded. If somebody is emerging as regular hate speeches or hostile speeches like this, I think can be brought in at an early stage of little prevention. It's under control. So you can go graded, certainly not an FIR, but you can bring in, you can nurture this group. As I told you, the rough register plays that role where you make a note of who is doing what. And then when we called and warned and then brought in under some preventive sections of law, which is peace proceedings, where is it put on as non-civil surety, and the elders play a role to control. So you can go into little graded rate straight away, not to go FIR and then bail and make it criminal angle. I would rather go very graded in such an age group. But if it is open and it's like a full-blown hate, you have a law, you can take action. Why not? And as I see the government, the policing of the state is taking action. They don't have a choice. But I would say preventive policing, where graded rough registers is maintained for such youth to be coming under some watch, where they brought under elder control, their parents' control, their teachers' control, or those elders who exercise some influence and control over them. So I'm more on preventive policing, then finally, rather than come to ultimate criminality. Because it's
Sanju Verma, please go ahead.
Yes. Maria, I fully appreciate the points made by Ms. Bedi with respect to preventive policing, preventive action. But I think we need to fix the elephant in the room. The moot point is this, and there's no easy way of saying it. Be it West Bengal, be it large parts of Assam, I think, there has been inorganic growth of radical Islamist elements. For instance, look at what Himanta Biswa Sarma said. I will quote him ad verbatim. He said every 10 years, the Muslim population in Assam is growing at the rate of 36%. The other communities, particularly Hindu population, is growing at the rate of barely 9 to 9.5%. And he said that this 36% growth every 10 years in Assam is not organic. You look at South Salmara, Darang, Morigaon, Bongaigaon, Barpeta, Dhubri. The Muslim population on an average has grown from 23%
But Ms.
20
Verma,
years
how are
back
the two
to
linked?
76%. The link is this. There are radical elements who are taking law in their own hands. If you look at the composition of the law and order breakdowns that have happened, be it in Mizoram, be it in Manipur, be it in Tripura, be it in West Bengal, what do you see? There is a common thread. Who are the perpetrators?
Please come back to the core issue.
Okay. No, Ms. Sanju Verma, I'm not too sure if the... No. This is about the people of the Northeast. Let's talk about it. I don't think so. The religious angle should be brought in here. So please come in. Yes, please go ahead quickly.
In 10 seconds.
Yes, please.
My limited point is this, that law and order is a function of various things. It's not, something that can be easily comprehended. Each state has a different demographic makeup, but
Yes.
you need to bring down this tendency to stereotype people. I fail to understand why the Congress MP on your panel does not condemn what Sam Pitroda said. He basically said everybody from Northeast is a chinky. Does he have the guts to condemn his own leader?
Okay.
He will not do that.
No,
That is the hypocrisy
the larger
I want to
question
I want to
is
tell you
also
something,
about...
lady.
Yes, please come in. Pradyut,
Please
come in
don't
on this.
showcase your
Specifically,
hypocrisy.
Maria,
Don't
yes,
showcase
please
your
come in
hypocrisy.
Maria,
about the
I just want to tell
Bezbaruah
you
Committee.
something.
Bezbaruah
First thing,
Committee and its
first
recommendations,
thing.
please. Let's get into specifics
yes, first
now,
thing,
please.
I want to tell you something. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry that this entire core issue that we are discussing today, that you invited me to join this panel.
Yes, please, go
It's
ahead.
been diverted, and this is being diverted with some racial narrative that they are all always good at it. The core issue is this, that what I said, that is very unfortunate that the youth of the Northeast face this kind of racial discrimination, prejudice, in every part of the country, and how do we actually prevent it?
Will you condemn Sam
Policing
Pitroda?
alone cannot solve it.
Will
Policing,
you condemn
yes.
Sam Pitroda? That's
Of
my
course I
limited point.
condemn if Sam Pitroda say that. There's no two-way about it. But please don't
So then please say
politicize
that
this
Sam
issue.
Pitroda should be
What the
expelled
more
from the
important
Congress.
issue, please.
He said all Northeastern people are
don't,
Chinese.
Don't
Sanju Verma,
politicize this
you
thing.
want
What
him
I
to
am basically
condemn
trying to tell you, I'm
He has
sorry, I
condemned
want
it.
to...
Chinese.
Ms. Verma,
He
he
said
has
that he should
condemned
be
it. He
expelled
has
from the
condemned
Congress
it.
party.
He has condemned it. We have to
if
move
at all
beyond
Sam
Sam Pitroda.
says
Let's
something
talk
like
about...
this,
Let's
No,
talk
I
about
want
who
to
is
tell you
fueling hate.
something.
How should this
No,
hate
Maria.
end?
No.
Okay,
You
let
want
me
to read
finish.
out Rahul
to
Gandhi's
politicize and
statement.
trivialize this
Pradyut, please
entire
come,
issue.
Pradyut.
Maria.
Yes,
Maria,
Pradyut,
can I
No,
come
I'm
ask for
very
a question?
sorry. I regret
One
joining
moment.
with this. Because they are
Pradyut,
just...
my
they are
question
just-
is,
they
my
are-
question
they are
is, please.
just trying to divert the entire issue.
Pradyut,
What is
my
this?
question is...
You are basically diverting.
Pradyut,
What is
my
more
question is,
important?
listen
Then
to me,
Please
listen
be
to me.
sensitive. Please be
Absolutely.
sensitive. The North is...
Absolutely.
Maria,
My question is,
are you see,
will
you are
Northeast
trying to
MPs...
divert this issue. The core
Absolutely
issue
not.
is this. What
Absolutely
we
not.
discussed.
Yes, I'm coming back to you. Please listen to
What
me.
I'm trying to tell
Will
you is
Northeast MPs push for mandatory reporting of racial slurs in FIRs, which is similar to SC/ST Atrocities Act provisions? That's my question. Because let's talk about also the recommendations of the Bezbaruah Committee.
Yes. What is important? See, there has to be a concerted action plan. Only policing or preventive policing cannot solve this problem. Yes, there can be creation of fast-track courts and special police squads. But at the same time, social intervention, sensitization, interventions in educational curriculum, and more awareness about Northeast people that they are part and parcel of the entire Indian polity. This has to be, this has to be actually taken up in tandem with everybody. And this is a painstaking process, I know that. But then knowledge and identification and that they are very much part of the Indian polity should be inculcated in the schools, and in the social interventions are also very important. This is what I'm talking about. And acts of hate and prejudice across various parts of the country cannot be accepted, should not be accepted.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I need to
It cannot
read
be
out
a
Rahul
BJP
Gandhi's
We all
post.
have to be part
It cannot
of
be a BJP
Maria,
or a
please be
Congress
fair.
issue. This is a humanity issue.
Yes, so
this
can I
this
just
is an
come in?
issue of every
Absolutely,
citizen.
that is what we said.
It is a
But I'm
issue
very
which concerns
sorry.
Can I
This is
come in for
unfortunate.
20
These
seconds,
ladies
Maria?
are trying to divert this attention
No,
by
this is unfair.
trivialize.
You can't do this. You have to give me 30 seconds, please.
How
Please have
poignant
his
and
say.
painful of this case of Angel Chakma. He has to assert in the face of death that I am Indian. How poignant and
Absolutely.
how painful it is.
Why do you
Absolutely,
call
I
me
agree.
You're
This
not
is
giving
what
me
we
time
should
to
prevent.
rebut.
I agree. Please go ahead, Ms. Sanju Verma.
Thank you. Maria, now I heard the gentleman. It's very easy to say, let's not politicize this. Is it a humanitarian issue? Yes. But the reason I called it a political issue is because today, at 12:43 p.m., the leader of the opposition, supposedly the tallest leader in the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, this is what he's written. I will just read the moot points of his tweet, not the other stuff that he said. Hate doesn't appear overnight. For years now, it is being fed daily, especially to our youth, through toxic content and irresponsible narratives, and it is being normalized by the hate-spewing leadership of the ruling BJP. This is what Rahul Gandhi has said in response to the killing
Yes,
of
there is a piece of
Angel
breaking news
Chakma.
which is coming in now. Just hold on to your thoughts. This is certainly a big statement and a big demand that is coming in now by victim Angel's father. Angel's father has demanded death penalty for the attackers. He has said he cried a lot after son was attacked and was ready to sell my kidney to save my son. All attackers should be hanged to death. Though that's what a grieving father is demanding, Dr. Alana. Death penalty for the attackers, Dr. Alana. That's what Angel Chakma's father is demanding. I'm going to play that soundbite and then I'm coming to you, Dr. Alana. Yes.
क्या पता सर हॉस्पिटल वाला भी मिला हुआ हो, लेकिन हमारा जो हमने जब ऑपरेशन किया बच्चे को उस समय पीयूष पांडे साहब डॉक्टर था, उसने बोला ऑपरेशन सक्सेसफुल करके बोला था, लेकिन बाद में लापरवाही किया, वो मेजर ऑपरेशन होगा ऐसे बोला था। ऑपरेशन होने के बाद इसने एक दिन छुट्टी किया, तो उनका साथ जो डॉक्टर था, छोटा मोटा डॉक्टर था, उन लोग को पूछता हूँ मेरे बच्चे को क्या हुआ, बोला वो पीयूष पांडे सर से बात करो। वो पीयूष पांडे को सर अगर जाता हूँ तो वो तो बोला छुट्टी में है। तो मेरा लड़का 10 तारीख के बाद बहुत सीरियस कंडीशन हुआ था। ये नहीं ऑपरेशन हुआ था 18 तारीख के बाद बहुत सीरियस कंडीशन हुआ। फिर 18 तारीख के बाद पूरा आईसीयू से पे वेंटिलेटर में ले गया, उसको ऑक्सीजन लगा रखा, पूरा बेहोश हो रखा था, हाथ पे चल नहीं रहा था। मतलब ऐसे उन्होंने बहुत मतलब अच्छे से हॉस्पिटल ये नहीं किया, ट्रीटमेंट नहीं किया। कोई नौकरी करने जाता है, कोई पढ़ाई करने जाता है, कोई कंपनी में काम करने जाता है, मजदूरी करने जाता है, तो इनका साथ ऐसे गलत व्यवहार नहीं होना चाहिए। हम भी इंडियन हैं सर। तो सरकार से मेरा दरख्वास्त है या विनती है कि ये सभी का साथ एक जैसा होना चाहिए, किसी का साथ ऐसे गलत व्यवहार नहीं होना चाहिए। सभी एक जैसा है, हम भी इंडियन है, वो भी इंडियन है। ये है कि हम नॉर्थ ईस्ट से बिलोंग करते हैं बोल के हम लोग मतलब इन लोग गलत व्यवहार से पुकारते हैं, बोलते हैं, ये नहीं होना चाहिए।
Union Minister Kiran Bedi has also reacted on this story. Now let's listen in.
देहरादून में हमारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट का एक बच्चे के साथ जो घटना हुई है, मौत हो गए हैं, इससे हम लोग सब बहुत ही दुखी हैं और एक तरीके से आक्रोश भी है। इसको एक घटना सिर्फ नहीं देखना चाहिए, और ये सिर्फ नॉर्थ ईस्ट ही क्यों, पूरा देश को दुख होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे देश के अंदर में किसी बच्चे या किसी इंसान को उनका जात या उनका धर्म या उनका प्रदेश या उनको जैसे दिखता है उसका पहचान, उसके वजह से अगर मौत होते हैं या उसको अटैक करते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये तो समाज का हर वर्ग को सोचना चाहिए। उत्तराखंड का सरकार ने सख्त कार्रवाई शुरू किया है। उत्तराखंड का मुख्यमंत्री ने भी बहुत सख्त कदम उठाया है और शायद 5 लोग अरेस्ट भी हो गए हैं। लेकिन मैं ये चाहता हूं कि जो दिल्ली में जैसे व्यवस्था बनाया हुआ है दिल्ली पुलिस में, वैसे हर प्रदेश का जो मेट्रोपॉलिटन पुलिस है, अगर वो कदम उठाए तो अच्छा रहेगा।
Dr. Alana, the father, heartbroken, is demanding justice and also saying that they are also citizens of India. But at the same time, that the son may not have been given the right hospital treatment is a charge also coming in from a grieving father here.
I completely agree with the father. He has every right to ask for a punishment, the most severe punishment, because this is a heinous crime against his son. No amount of compensation can bring back to the father who lost his son. I remember Nido Tanya's mother in Jantar Mantar. She was standing the day Nido lost his life, that no mother should go through the same way I have gone through today. Today, I'm hearing Angel's father saying that no child should go through the same experience that I've gone through. Now the mother, those days, and the father here are saying the same thing. Now we need strictest punishment, and then, as I said earlier, deterrence has to be set. Yes, our Minister Kiran Rijiju has said about 1093, that is the Special Police Unit for Northeastern Region, which was constituted in 2014 when Nido Tanya was killed. So the same thing we have been asking, which is in the Bezbaruah Committee report recommendations, that there should be 1093 should also be, functional in other major cities, like you have in Mumbai, Bengaluru, and other cities where chunk of Northeast people are there. Now that today in Dehradun, I'm told that there are around thousands of students from the Northeast. Now you need to set up a temporary committee to go and see the situations and on the policing. Yes, coming back to that. After 4 to 5 days, of the incident, why the police have to react so late? That itself shows that their attitude. That itself shows that this has been taken, racism and attack has been taken, very, very casually. And now, of course, hospital. I myself have experienced a lot when I'm taking the victims, when I'm bringing the victims to many hospitals. I know the attitude of the hospitals, and I can see that. I'm sure prompt action, proper treatment could have been given. I'm sure there must be, but investigation should take place.
Investigation
how the hospital authorities
will reveal
have
the
acted.
truth.
So all
Absolutely,
this,
a lot of
correct.
questions, lot of questions that needs answer now. Dr. Alana, Sanju Verma, Dr. Kiran Bedi and Pradyut Bordoloi, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.